I want to thank you folks for using your modern day scrying tool to channel my spirit. And I want you to not believe me. I want you to do what they're told to do. Test me, prove me, right? And also test the spirit of this world that's telling you all this BS that contradicts the Word of God. And according to him is foolishness, right? Look here on your screen. This is proof. In this video, I'm going to go into the total solar eclipses and lunar eclipses and attempt to prove more conclusively that the moon is not causing that shadow on the ground. And this is proof from them, not from me. You've got a 70-mile wide diameter shadow the same time of year as you got 2045, one that's going to be double that. Use your brain, people. Somebody's a lying, because there's no way your cosmology can account for that. You can't prove that with your cosmos. So there's no math going to explain that away. I hope I'm alive to view the cartoon they come up with to explain that one in 2045. That ought to be good. Greece and the Birket Observatory in Israel, the moon appeared like it was 180 from those two observatories in the video footage that I will insert later. However, if we go back out, zoom out to space, you see where we're at, right? Right above Johannesburg, right? Right. Funny coincidence about that. Curveball earthers. They're looking 90 degrees straight up. 20 minutes before the totality happens, right? So it's directly above their head. How could it be on the opposite side of the ball that Perth, Australia Observatory would also be able to see the moon? You say, well, that's simple. You zoom out back to space, right? Yet, let me rub your nose in it. Hold on a second. Allow me over here at Hillbilly EDU to clarify a point I'm trying to make here. When you juxtapose what we're witnessing on screen from Perth, Australia during the July 27, 2018 total in time from time and date. Also want to express that the lies by these purveyors of all that you know and hold to be true, the lies are in the omissions. What have they omitted, Hillbilly? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Right here, this information, altitude, direction. The last two time and date total lunar eclipses I've witnessed have not had any of that from any of these observatories. The lies are found in the omissions. Because when you try to correlate this to the ball Earth, that exposes the lie. How could you be facing on a compass 258 degrees almost south, 17 degrees above the horizon to view this right here? Now allow me to rub your nose in a curveball, Earth believers. A little, true science observations. Here is video evidence, unless, what are the observatories in on it too now? Come on, who's wearing the tinfoil hat now? Curveballers, you're stuck. Okay, Perth on the right, 1 minute apart, looking at the same thing, facing south. The direction over here in Johannesburg, northeast. Almost directly above their head, 80-something degrees altitude above the horizon. That's why they don't publish this information anymore when they show you their lie. They have to omit the facts that point out the lie. Wake up. The big point, the big takeaway here is the bottom left screen that I was getting at, they don't show that, or they haven't shown it in the last two moon eclipses, and I'm pretty sure they don't want us to have all that information to examine their lives too critically, because look here, this thing here, 280 degrees south, really? The other guy's looking north, you're looking south. You guys are looking in opposite directions to find the moon? Huh. I want to first call out to all you ardent curveball Earth believers like this fella here, Paulster X, who years ago tried to explain to me how we really live on a ball Earth, and he was going to bedazzle me with his brilliant mathematical skills and his ability to use AutoCAD. He verified I drew it to scale, but wasn't in the right perspective, according to him. He could only reproduce the 2017 solar eclipse in AutoCAD at full scale by drawing the moon 20 miles above the ecliptic plane, which is not how the total solar eclipse occurs, according to your own educational system. So he's trying to tell me the educational system is correct by debunking it, when I show him a video from an MIT professor stating all three space balls, moon, earth, sun, must be on the node on the ecliptic plane to achieve a totality. Otherwise, it'll be a partial. So, you know, you can't really project these paths up beyond the tropics and parallax be the cause. And that's what he was trying to assert, because they never explained parallax, so he was trying to defend the fake ball Earth belief. I like this fella here. He exposes the lies. Very good. I hope he picks up what I'm about to lay down, as well as these other guys that know this is all BS. It's just, it's hilarious if it wasn't so sad. But anyhow, without further ado, let me get to the point. Since I've already laid the foundation in earlier parts, I don't need to go over everything. This is Saros 145. This is the one that occurred number 22 of 77. Remember, I showed you the date ranges. This is one of 39 active cycles. This one over here is 136. And this particular path was number 39 of 71. What I want you to notice is, because curveballers try to distinguish, well, if the diameter is because of the angle and this, that, and the other. You've got on this map the solar point, meaning the sun is supposedly down here, the shadow being way up here makes no sense, but, you know, balls curve and whatnot, I suppose. But if that's true, the shadow should elongate on the curvature, right? How is it you get a, what is this? 114 kilometer diameter path for 2017, August 21st, people. And I have to say that with emphasis, because the curveballers like Paulster X would try to say, well, the moon is at a different distance, and that can work it out with the mass, and it works out fine, the shadow's right. Because you look right over here, folks, on 136, a 255 kilometer shadow over the exact same damn territory almost. Okay, this one starts out at the very northern tip of California. This one, the northern tip of Oregon. But come on, people, really? 114 kilometers, 255? Okay, Paulster, just give up. Deflate your ball and go home. Retire from being a paid shill, or, you know, join the truth train. So all you astute astronomy students that like to bewilder your professors, show them this. Say, explain. You know, you guys are all telling us about in class how they line up on the node just about right. We know it's the moon that's blocking the sun. Well, how do you have 39 active paths that go in all different directions, whether it be on a ball? You know, I went on enough. That's enough proof. I'm done. The mic will hit the floor, but it won't be because of your fake belief in gravity. It's density, right? I want to just encourage you all to go over here to my Odyssey channel and watch P1, prove all things, or Brighteon, same thing. And you can check this out too, that's pretty good. But anytime I'm going to use video or audio like music in the background, I'm going to just put it up over on these platforms. I don't want any of the censorship. I think I could talk about this on this platform, but we'll see. And in order to do so, I believe I'm going to go from memory. I think it's 136, which is known in history to be one of the largest diameter dark shadows, or umbra, penumbra, abracadabra shadows they got for the same, phenomena, right? We're talking about the moon and the sun. If I go to the 1991 July eclipse, if this is that Soros cycle 136, we should see July 1991. We do. That will be over Mexico, I'm sure. All right, so we know this is Soros 136. I've done this before. I remembered correctly. Of course, I should have already had this up, but I want to do it live for the curveballers. Again, I just want to stop here since you can see all the tabs. What a rabbit hole I went down for some reason. Unlike the other Soros numbers where I could pull you up the detailed map showing you the diameter of the shadow, I can't seem to find this one. But I did find this little tidbit to let you know again. It is one of the 39 active Soros cycles. This one first appeared in 1360. The last eclipse will happen in 2622. Okay, yes. See the blue? See how it's a little smaller? And again, this is counterintuitive if you're on a ball. Shadows would elongate on the curve of the earth, right? Because this is up north of the equator where the shadow would be more direct because you're lined up on the ecliptic plane. Yeah, on the node. I'm sorry, I get a little dramatic when talking about mental retardation that people think is reality. Without question, though. See, that's the problem. Nobody questions it. Can't look at it, you go blind. Well, you know what? Come on now. Grow up. It ain't much of a sign if you don't look at it. First book of Genesis said all that stuff up there for you as a sign. For times, for dates, for seasons, it's a sign, also a sign. I can't look at it, I'll go blind. See, they won't go to heaven, but they don't want you to go there either. Okay, you can physically see. All right, let me tell you something. I think memory could be wrong. I think the diameter is 160 miles versus the one that went up here in 2017, about along this trajectory, 70-mile diameter. Okay, again, totally different path. Think about it. We're in the middle of July, right? Furthest away from the sun ball, right? When we're hottest, we're further away. So the shadow should be larger, right? Makes sense. Yeah, but only by a month, right? We're comparing this to the one that happened in August up on the ball. So how could it be so much bigger? It doesn't make sense. And you know it intuitively. Your cognitive dissonance won't allow you to consider it, so let me find it for you and rub your nose in it. Finally, I found it. They switched the tabs around compared to the 145. That makes sense. Anyhow, I found it. As you can see, July 1991, over Mexico, and they give you the subsolar point, and so it's basically straight on is what they're trying to tell you. Again, in perfect alignment. So that should generate the smallest diameter shadow, right? Right? No? Still don't want to believe that? Well, it certainly shouldn't be 258 kilometers, right? Think about it. Right? I mean, this is just common sense, folks. Mostly about 72 paths before it disappears and another orb takes its spot, right? There's 39 of them. All of this was found out by the ancient Chaldean astronomers, the wise men that went to Jesus' birthday party. Woohoo! way off into the future. So we'll go 2045. See where that one is at. Again, 255 kilometers wide. And this time, look at it. Because look at this, the exact same path, my friend, as 2017. The subsolar point is down here, just like in August, people. All of you cognitive dissonance curveball believers, look, Soros 136. Again, this is number 39. Remember, I showed you 1991. Told you it would be the same diameter. What is it? It's within 3 clicks of the same damn diameter. But now look, all you curveballers trying to justify the size difference, even though it was counterintuitive because it's crossing the equator. The shadow should be more elongated on the curve, right? But again, the same path as 2017, that shadow, 70-mile diameter. Over 150 now? But you think it's the same thing. It's almost the exact same day, time of year. So isn't the moon and the sun always in the same spot at the same time of the year? Ain't that how they explain the seasons, people? Come on, wake the fuck up. I'm done. I got no more to say. You still want to believe you're on a ball after that, you're an idiot. And there's no point in talking to you. Shake the dust off my feet. I've tried. You have no excuse. Just like Psalm 19:1 says. At the end of the day, we know this man here came to the realization of the truth in Psalm 19:1. It's his rocket technology he developed during World War II that got this whole fallacy off the ground, if you will. Operation Fishbowl, Operation Dominic, all using his technology to crash the firmament. He knew about it. He died with a clear conscience. He exposed the lie. He did what they said in Ephesians, right? Expose it. Allow me to again read from Matthew. I believe this is found in chapter 13. Not sure. Anyway, Jesus said, "For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear." I mean, how many signs is it going to take, people, before you see? I mean, look here. Look at all the signs. If you don't think you're living in the end times, just go back and contemplate these last 2 parts of this video I've been talking to you about here. Look at these here. If they put all the paths, you wouldn't see the map. They don't have any of the annular eclipses. There's one coming up here, October 2023, that's going to go where the cursor is here, out over the 4 corners, out crossing this path here that's going to be coming up in April, which I hadn't talked about much, but it's making an X over Carbondale, Illinois from the 2017 total. These are all totals, remember? But put this old hillbilly to the test and see if what I'm saying doesn't correlate with the words that I've given you from Jesus, and go on each side of the center line of any one of these upcoming events with you and a friend. Within the line of totality, don't trust me. Don't be safe. You might go blind if you look at it. But if you look at it without that safety equipment, you'll see it's a smooth, dark orb with no mountains, So that may be why you wouldn't want to look at it with your own eyes. But you film it with a solar filter from both sides of that center line, and you'll see when you compare the image, completely flipped. That can't happen on ball Earth. And Jesus knew that. And that's why he covertly put that in the Word, right? I go into the proof of this if you have any question about it, but you'd be questioning your trusted source, really. The only sign that will be given, sign of Jonah, right? That's what he told them. And if you Google this right here, what solar eclipse preceded Jonah in Nineveh? You'll find a total solar eclipse over Nineveh in northern Iraq occurred June 15, 763 BCE. That fits the time frame of the life and career of Jonah. But on that, I digress. The word is manifest for those that have eyes to see and ears that hear. So I want to repeat in case I didn't mention it earlier. I will be putting these two parts here to keep it under 30 minutes for each part in this new folder titled Prove All Things. If you want more in-depth video with more, scientific video footage, some background audio and whatnot, I'll put snippet videos in this folder, linking to those videos on my other platforms, whether it be Odyssey, Brighteon, or YouTube. I don't think I'll put anything on BitChute. They censor too much and shadow ban. Anyhow, to that end, let's finish with a few things you might want to keep in mind in order that'll help you see new things and keep from falling as we go forward. Set your affection on the things above, not on the things of the earth, for ye are dead, and your life is hid in Christ. Okay, so that's basically like saying you're dead to this world, you pick up your cross daily and follow after him. Those of you that have already watched T1, Prove All Things, already know about the analemma, but just for those that don't, maybe edification for a little bit more solidity in your mind. You see, this path is what the sun does every year. That's when it's across the equator. That's halfway through the year right there. Okay? So when Pooh Man Dave and all these other shills are running around telling you about the sun would have to change speeds, yeah, right there it does. There's the proof. When it's in the northern hemisphere, small circle, like it'd have to do on the Gleason's map. In the south, big circle, just like it'd have to do right here. Matches reality, observations, not to mention the equation of time problem, right? No, you don't know about that? Well, I'll have a part on later explaining all about that. You'll see it. Fictitious sun, you understand? Unlike this picture up here above where it doesn't show it circling, crossing, mentioning circle there, got me on this thought. It makes a circle, it crosses, and the moon does the same thing, which makes us wonder, where's that fit into your model? We circle them. They don't circle us. Think about it. That's the problem with this whole thing. People don't think about it. We have objective reality that we are confronted with. And we'd rather live in pseudoscience land. Because 100 years ago, when old newspaper clips, people stood up for the Bible, they didn't have this kind of time-lapse footage they could throw in their face. These liars, these pseudoscience priests claim to be scientists with their relativity theories and all these theories passed off as laws. And, it's just nonsense, people. Okay? Where do you get the circle down here around the South Pole? Because we've seen footage of the midnight sun around Antarctica, right? Oh, no, we haven't. Not if you've been over here on this platform years ago when Taboo Conspiracy was up here pounding that stuff into the dirt, showing it was fake. But you don't have to fake it on the North Pole. You got the midnight sun up there, baby, making a circle. Never. When you type this into the search engine, you will think to change times and laws. You'll get this scripture that many of you know. He shall speak words against the Most High and shall oppress the holy ones, right? Wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws. And I was wanting to know if I was correct in my assumption that we were having quite a lot of solar eclipses. And I questioned how many there are. There 180. When it comes to all the wisdom of this world, that number 666 is always wrapped up in it. I don't know if I trust it. I'm not willing to waste the time to delve too deeply into this hole, but I would like to point out the calendar for all dates from 1582 and onward. No, it's when they around about started changing time. Okay, just wanted to point that out to you. They claim 86 eclipses. We've had 3. I wonder how many we got now. They claim we got 39 active cycles. The only thing that lends merit to that 180 number in my mind is the fact that your celestial sphere, if you will, only goes 180 degrees. That's where the stars end, my friend. They don't go 360. Makes sense? Wake up. Why they gerrymander their timelines or offset the clocks. But those of you that know this already know there's over 200 verses. I know of 40 myself, but for those still on the fence, you really shouldn't need more than these 2. Hast thou with him spread out the sky, which is strong as a molten looking glass. This is mind-blowing to me. 100% proof. The wisdom of this world is foolishness. Does the hawk fly by your wisdom and spread its wings toward the south? But if you're not very strong in the word, you type this in. He spread out the heavens. I was looking for the tent, as a tent to dwell in. That's what I was looking for. And look what it gave me. It is he that sitteth upon the globe of the earth. I don't know what that is, but that certainly isn't KJV. Just go Old English on it, and you don't have to worry about it. Even though, you won't learn anything about the wineskin in the KJV anymore, but on that I digress. I would apologize for the sarcasm here, folks, but we've caught your purveyors of all we know in so many contradictions, it's become absurd at this point. I mean, we change over here when it's convenient, and it explains away the rare hybrid that we're going to see. See, we're all witnessing these strange things. Think about it now. I mean, Jonas, them people repented, and it was just a straight path. You get the Nike swoosh. Now you get the total annular, all in one fell swoop. Come on, they already had to claim after the 2017. Sun must be bigger because the eclipse path lasted 5 hours. But yet, on the 2018 July time and date translation of how come we're witnessing a less than 2 hour red blood moon, full moon totality is because we were 406,000 kilometers away and it was a micromoon, and that made it the longest total lunar eclipse in a century, and it lasts less than 2 hours. So essentially you're saying to explain away what you witness in the horizontal lunar eclipse footages, that's when it's in full moon phase, if you will, and it can only last a maximum of 2 hours in 100 years. So shouldn't we see it change phase in one evening? I mean, see, you're correlating your speeds wrong. Something is wrong. Again, the other point I'd point out, the 1991 path that went down over Mexico was 160 miles in diameter versus the one that should be elongated on the ball. It's elongated here when they want it to be elongated on this curve. But up here over North America where there's curve, the shadow is only 70 miles wide. But it's the same thing. Come on. Too many lies. Can't be believed no more, people. It's over.